Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight on our news.
The acting prime minister addresses concerns about Baha Mar.
Police investigating a break-in at the National Lead Institute.
You've got front row seats to the National Pride Day ceremony here in Rawson Square.
Our news is brought to you by Alive, the nation's newest and best LTE network.
Good to be alive.
Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina McNeil. Topping news tonight, on the heels of former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram's warning to the Minnis administration not to stop Baha Mar from being completed, despite a request from Sarkis's Merlion, Deputy Prime Minister Peter Turnquest says the government has no intention of interfering in the commercial sale of Baha Mar and is committed to the success of the resort. Jasmine Brown reports.
The Deputy Prime Minister made the comments on the sidelines of a ceremony for customs officers today, as he insisted the Minnis administration will do whatever it takes to get the project off the ground. Turnquest was asked to respond to former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram, who asserted this week that government should in no way entertain former developer Sarkis's Merlion's request for a moratorium on the completion of the sale of Baha Mar.
Well, you know, as we said during the campaign trail, we believe that this is a commercial transaction in the main. And so we want to ensure that government does not interfere with commerce. That is our stance. Yes, we have a role to play in facilitating whatever transaction that will occur, and that is our position. We want to see private enterprise succeed, both foreign and domestic investment, and we want to facilitate an environment that is conducive to that without undue influence.
Minister of Financial Services, Trade and Industry and Immigration Brent Simonet suggested yesterday that Cabinet may review Merlion's request. The acting Prime Minister did not confirm if that would happen, but Turnquest did say the extent of government's involvement will be assisting with a full opening.
To the extent that they need our assistance in order to achieve a full opening, certainly we stand ready to do that. We are committed to the project in terms of our assistance and whatever cooperative marketing and support that we can offer. And so, we're working towards a full opening, I think they said in October, and we're working towards that.
When asked what Merlion's chances are of getting the resort project back, Turnquest says this.
I wouldn't want to comment on that.
Okay. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, the Progressive Liberal Party's Bainstown branch is speaking out against the circulation of a video which shows two female PLP supporters fighting at a memorial service for former Bainstown and Grantstown Member of Parliament Dr. Bernard Nottage. The video, which has been widely circulated on social media, shows one woman punching another in the head as two men attempted to break up the fight. The party's Baintown branch said in a statement, the fight is an insult to all that Dr. Nottage stood for, but the real injury is that someone would be so insensitive as to post and circulate such a video. Dr. Nottage, who is the former Minister of National Security, died on June 28th. The branch said the fight took place after the service. The statement adds that the memorial was held peacefully and with due reverence to the occasion. This comes as the body of Dr. Nottage arrived home from Florida. His brother and other relatives, along with colleague Senator Fred Mitchell, looked on as the box containing the former National Security Minister's body was placed in the back of a hearse. Nottage, who was 71, spent 3 days in Doctors Hospital's intensive care unit before he was airlifted to Cleveland Clinic, where he died. In other news, police investigating a robbery at the National Lead Institute, where CEO and President Troy Clark says around $10,000 worth of building supplies and appliances were stolen. Kyle Joaquin has the story.
They broke open over here, and you know, some blood spots. You'll notice, yeah, right on the floor, right? Okay, and so obviously they screwed it open, and they came through the window. When they came in, they screwed back down.
A broken window, its ejected screen and bloodstains tell the tale of a culprit who police believe cut himself trying to fit through the window, leaving behind shattered glass. The stains form a trail from the main part of the building to the smaller rooms, which Clark said was the holding area for the lead institute's computers and other appliances. In that area, a door which he believes the wounded suspect opened to let his accomplice or accomplices in.
Everything was against this door and everything, and this door deadlock was working, everything was intact, but it's now open. And so they would have totaled everything through this door. I'm surprised they leave the rest, some of the remaining computers that we would have had here, and so we had some more expensive stuff in the back room. We kept it in the back room.
The Institute is a community correctional organization that provides programs and services to at-risk members of society, from juveniles to substance abusers.
Last semester we had in excess of 15 to 20 juveniles and in excess of 30 adult clients coming into the facility. But we weren't using this facility. We just moved into the facility actually because we were using the Diplomat Center. And because our time had expired at the Diplomat Center, we had to make sure with our contractor and everything, make sure everything is in order for September.
But with this setback, he's not sure when or how the Institute will replace the thousands of dollars worth of stolen supplies and equipment, including 20 bags of cement.
Cement and supplies in excess of $10,000 worth of donations that were given to us by various donors for us to complete our administrative office and our room to do our counseling in, and so that we can start our re-entry program here in September, because we were using the summer months to get everything completed inside this building.
Clark questions just how many people it took to lift so many heavy things out of the building. And just outside the side door, trampled grass leading from the doorway to a hole in the fence. Given the amount of damage done, the Institute's president says someone had to have seen something.
This has set us really back. I don't see us operating out of here in September anymore because, it took us months, and, the election and everything really threw us off in getting donations in here. So I don't see us coming set up for September, most likely October or November of this year, but we'll just have to find a temporary location that we can utilize for our group counseling and do administrative work.
And with tears in his eyes, Clark shared with our news what he hopes to see come out of all this.
For government and the powers to be to see the need to help with preventative intervention and rehabilitative of our young men. And I don't know who would have broken out inside it, but if anybody who would have seen persons or materials and stuff like that, notify us at 525-35-525-3749.
Now I'm standing in the pathway Clark believes was the escape route used by the culprits. Again, he's hoping for a September opening, but after this unfortunate event, things may be pushed back to sometime in November. Reporting for our news, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Well, nearly 2 months after police arrested staff at the Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation in connection with a theft probe, that case has now been forwarded to the new anti-corruption unit of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Former BAIC Chairman Dion Smith was one of several people taken into custody, but no charges were brought against anyone. However, Assistant Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernander says a wider investigation is taking place. When police arrested Smith, they said the probe involved the theft of electronic items on the night of the May 10th general election. Smith's attorney and former PLP candidate for Freetown, Wayne Monroe, has called the investigation a political witch hunt. And it's National Pride Day. Our news went to Rawson Square to catch the annual ceremony. April Sands has the details.
Well, it's nothing but national pride here in Rawson Square, as just about all walks of life have shown up just to have a pre-celebration for the country's 44th Independence Day.
A powerful sense of pride permeated the air as dozens of Bahamians decked out in black, aquamarine, and gold gathered in Rawson and Parliament Square today for National Pride Day celebrations. From the lively performances on stage to the street vendors selling native foods, it was a day of embracing all things Bahamian. It's something acknowledged by Governor General Dame Marguerite Pindling, who said while all Bahamians should be proud of how far the country has come, there's a lot more work to be done.
As proud citizens, we have made great progress, but much more work remains to be done, for nation building is an endless task. As new generations rise, They too must share in the process of continuing the building of our nation, and it is our duty to pass on to them the established values and the principles of our nation. We must therefore demonstrate the virtues of integrity, honor, and love, which will ever guide us to remain faithful to upholding the name and regard for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Minister of National Security Marvin Dames echoed those sentiments.
We have been able to achieve so much, but there's still a distance to go. You know, nation building doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, and it takes a lifetime. And so while as we move toward our development, we must understand that it is a process, and there will be times when you say we're not getting anywhere, but at the end of the day, just look around and you see the progress that we have made as a nation over the decades. But there's just so much more in store for us as a country.
The nation's youth were the focus of the ceremony as students from various schools showed up in large numbers and even conducted the on-stage presentation. Amid the crowd was a smattering of tourists soaking up Bahamian culture.
I just got off the boat, but I know y'all spirit is always fun and fabulous. I just love it, love it, love it. And to see the kids out today with their colors on and their vibrant spirits, I'm just overwhelmed.
A lineup of other Independence Day celebrations continue this weekend on Bay Street and Fort Charlotte. Reporting for our news, I'm April Sands.
Still to come on our news, how you can go for an island run without leaving the house. That and more when our news returns.